Hey, wife. Hello. I know you're probably wondering, Coach T, you are here on a You are here on a Friday evening. Hello. This is not my normal time that I come on. Hey. And so, yes, I'm here on a Friday. I wanted to stop by because I won't be on. I won't be on my normal Saturday. So I thought I would stop by this evening and share a little marriage restoration tea. Of course, I got me some tea as well to go along with the tea that I want to share. But yeah, I want to just come and speak to you guys for a few moments. Maybe you are here for the first time and you are not used to seeing me show up this time of the day. I am a wife coach. My name is Coach T. I am a Christian mental health wife coach. And I coach wives who are separated from their husbands, whether they are inside of the home and separated or outside of the home. And I help her to confront her marital grief. I help her to confront her marital grief. Most of the wives that I work with are going through hardship that involves adultery, abandonment, and or addictions. And so I try to help that wife walk through her journey in the most healthiest way. And help her to walk through her journey in the most healthiest way. And also help her to take care of her mental, her emotional, her spiritual, and her physical health. All right. And so my area of expertise fall underneath faith, behavioral health, and marriage separation. So those are the areas that I focus in on the most. But listen, happy Self-Care Friday. Happy Self-Care Friday. I wanted to come on real fast this evening because I will not be with you long on today. I'm starting my self-care weekend early, so I won't be on tomorrow. The Lord has spoken. And I may not be on for a few Saturdays, but we're gonna keep maneuvering through that. We're gonna just take it week by week. And so one of the questions I always ask my wives when we start a session is, if your emotions had a name, what would it be? If your emotions had a name, what would it be? And this is one of the ways, it's something that wives can really start doing to just kind of like become more aware of themselves. It's a really, really great exercise to kind of help you to be, where you are mentally, where you are emotionally, like what you got on, like, what you're dealing with type of thing or whatever. And so I was speaking to my sister, and, Friday is kind of like, the day that Coach T kind of like shut down. I start my, my self-care, on Friday. And so we kind of like, wrap up the whole week, kind of like, all right, we made it to Friday, what's on the agenda for the weekend, what we got going on. She know Friday's my, my favorite day of the week. Okay. And so, it's how you feeling? I was like, my emotions, if it had a name, it would be called Upside Down. If my emotions had a name today, it would be called Upside Down. Because that's what this week has felt like. This week has literally felt like it's been upside down. Probably because this was the first week. In the building in our new location with my 9 to 5. That was very different. This was also the first week that I went into full action with my church, with the small group. This was the first week of that. Okay. I had quite a few sessions this week, and I have interacted with a few wives, which is why I want to come on here and talk to y'all today. Give y'all the tea on this marital restoration thing a little bit. So I definitely want to dive into that. And then also, this is Love Month, and my anniversary is right around the corner. And so mommying and, businesswoman and wifey and, doing all those things. Yeah. Employee for a moment. Let me tell you something. Employee, honey. Thank you for only a moment. Because I really feel like God is getting ready to do something. So, yeah, that's where we are. So if my emotions had a name today, it would definitely be called Upside Down. Upside Down. But anyhow, listen, welcome, wives. Thank you for joining me. And yes, we do wear a lot of hats. Hello. Yes, we do wear a lot of hats. So I can pin that. Okay. We do wear a lot of hats. We do have a lot of things that we do as mothers, as wives, as business owners, as employees, as sisters, as daughters. It's like, pick somebody else this week. That's what's been on the tip of my tongue. Like, pick somebody else this week. I don't got nothing else to give. I got nothing else to do. And I think that's what happened. I had a session that rescheduled for Saturday because I was going to do my live on Saturday still. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, what I feel like the Lord has led me to. But I was going to do my session on Saturday still, but then I had to reschedule. And then so I had a few sessions this week. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have nobody no more on Saturday, so I'm going to move this on up. Let me change my live and share with the people on Friday versus Saturday, because I want to be out in the people's streets tomorrow, because that's part of my self-care. That's my business. So that's why I'm on here tonight. I'm on here tonight because I ain't going to be on here with y'all tomorrow. And I want to share a few things from, like I said, the wives that I have been speaking with. Some of the wives I've, have been DMing me. Some of the wives I have reached out and inquired about, some of Buoyancy Wife services. And so I just really, really want to kind of talk about some of those things. And I want to share just some, I always say like a little housekeeping type of thing, or just some information with wives as far as, just some stuff. We're going to just talk about some stuff. Let's just say that. All right. And so on that note, let me just say a quick prayer. Like I said, I won't keep you long today at all. No, we won't be here long. So, Father, we bless you, God, Lord, as we welcome you now into this live. I pray, God, for your word to go forth and that it will not return back void, God. Send your word to your wife, God. I pray that you would touch her heart on today, for the wives who need to hear this message, God, for the wives who need to do something different on this marital restoration journey, Lord. I pray that you would bring forth confirmation and revelation and wisdom and understanding and insight, God, and help her, Lord, to make a decision, God, to do something different than she has, that she haven't did before, God. I pray that you would help her to do something different on today. Lord, we bless you in advance and we thank you for your faithfulness. Cover this live now. In your son Jesus' name I pray. Amen, amen, amen. All righty. Now look. Because I've been messed around. I didn't really have anything. This is real informal today as well. That's the other part about this. This is real informal. I didn't really have nothing like really, really, dressed up or whatever. But I did want to share a few things with you. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to go to that part yet. All right. So I got that part. So yeah, y'all know I'm on here today because I'm sleeping in tomorrow a little bit because I plan on being in those people's streets. So, and I don't have a session tomorrow, so I decided to come on today. I already talked about that part. I talked about, the job thing and all right. Okay, so let's start with this. Because I share sometimes also on YouTube. And what I want to say to my YouTube followers, thank you for your support. I appreciate you. If you do not follow me on IG, I want to encourage you to do so. Instagram is my main platform for social media. And when the season starts to pick up, we're walking in that season now. When the season starts to pick up, and of course now with me having added things on my list, I may or may not be on to share the whole entire video. So what I'm thinking about doing is doing like some highlights of, the lives that I do. So I'm really encouraging wives to, if you do not follow me on Instagram, I'll encourage you to follow me on Instagram. That is at hiswife_Buoyancy_coach. All right. Probably won't be sharing the whole videos moving forward. That's still a work in a process. The Lord and me still working through that. Trying to get some things, simplify some things. So if you do not follow me on Instagram and you are on YouTube, I would encourage you to follow me, because I share more stuff on my Instagram page anyways than I do on YouTube. I will, however, continue to use the YouTube community board. I will still continue to use that, but I will not be sharing my whole video necessarily like I have been in the past. Let's see. A lot of coaches now are offering subscriptions. Like that's like a new thing. That's like a new thing a lot of people are, doing. Just because a lot of people are trying to not put everything necessary out there, okay? let me just give you the real tea, all right? We're talking about the tea, right? And so basically, a lot of people are now saying, like, if you want this information, you are having to subscribe to me in order for me to give you this kind of information, okay? I'm not going to just be here just giving information, okay? Coach T is not doing that, all right? Coach T is not doing that at this time, at this moment, all right? I am going to keep giving away free content. They may be limited on other platforms, like I said, such as YouTube and TikTok. YouTube and TikTok is probably the two. But I still would share information, and I would still, definitely be on my Instagram, like I have been in the past. A lot of changes is happening, not just, just with, the social media platforms, a lot of changes are, taking place with, with the coaching. A lot of things are taking place, with, just different things, and people trying to get their lives together, businesses and everything. And so, people are trying to definitely make sure that they are, just doing their due diligence to get things in order and in place. And with me having this, additional things going on now, I definitely want to make sure that I am, prioritizing myself by definitely showing up and giving my 1,000 here, but at the same time also giving that same amount of time back to myself. So if you do not follow me on Instagram and you are on YouTube or TikTok, I want to encourage you to follow me on my Instagram. All right. Why the changes, Coach T? Why are we having all these changes? Okay. And the changes is coming because I am now, I've always been an independent provider, but I am now also doing more work in my church. I'm doing more work in my church as well. And so because of that reason, that means my load and my schedule has changed. And so I still want to definitely show up here and give my all. And since this is my main platform, I definitely want to still show up here. But I do have to be mindful of what all I can do, because I am an independent provider, aka I'm a business owner who work for myself. Okay. My business is not my ministry, is my business, and I just happen to do ministry in it. And so because of that reason, I am trying to make sure that I, delegate things in a way that's going to be manageable for me as I continue to move forward. So I just need to of course, use wisdoms. Real wife coaches, y'all, are out here laboring for the benefit of the kingdom. And I say real, you determine what's real to you. You determine what's authentic. You determine, what works for you. But a lot of us are out here. We are laboring in this thing. It's like a real big, it's a real big deal. And so this is why taking this journey serious is important now more than ever. Okay. It's very important, more than ever. So God is usually, it feels almost like God is literally tipping things upside down. Like I have felt upside down all week, but it's literally, you can feel like the shift that's taking place among us. Like something is literally happening where God is like, all right, in a few minutes, you're going to feel this. In a few minutes, we're finna go this way and you ain't gonna know what's gonna happen, but I want you to know that I got you. Okay. This is the hour, I would say, to get connected to the right source that is going to be beneficial to you, right? This is the hour to get connected to the right source that's going to be beneficial to you, whether that is through your church, your local church, whether that is through a small group, whether that is through a mentor, whether that is through a coach, whether that is through a therapist, whether that is through a counsel and God. Okay. You need those things and God. All right. You need both of those things moving forward. All right. It is important in this hour for wives to get connected. If you are taking this journey of marital restoration serious, I sometimes feel, I'm going to get into that in a few moments, I sometimes feel like wives just want information, but they don't want to do anything with it. They want the tea, they want the juice, they want to do, but then it's like, okay, now you have all this information. Like, what do I do with it? You got to do something with it. Okay. You have to actually do something with it when you get it. All right. And so I say that to say, if you're not connected with me through my email, I want to encourage you to get connected. All right. I want to encourage you to get connected for two reasons. Like I said, because of my scheduling changing, I may not be on, as much, but I'm still here. I will still open up and say hello. I'm still here. And then another reason is because I do offer a free questionnaire for wives, especially for the wives who are separated from their husbands, who may have been separated from their husbands for a while, and they're saying, okay, I think I'm ready now. Like I'm really ready now for my husband to come home. I'm really, I really know I want my husband to come home. And so what I offer is a 10 question wife, evaluation for you to kind of see if you are really ready for your husband to come home, and to kind of see where you are on your journey. All right. This is something that I do offer wives once they do sign up to my email. So I want to encourage you, if you're not signed up, if you're not connected to me, you can do so. You just go to my website, www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com, and say, hey, Coach T, I want to get connected to your email, and we go from there. All right. And so that's another thing I just kind of like want to point out. I want to point out to you. Also through my email list, God has directed me to do something else in that area. So that's what I'm saying. Let me drink my tea. Cause it ain't just like, the stuff I already do. It's like, God, like, no, like you got stuff to do. I almost need to hire an assistant right now. Okay. I'm just being so honest. But I feel like this is something that God has definitely been putting in my, in my lap for a while, and been, really telling me, like, come on. I told y'all in the beginning, like a couple of weeks ago, like I was one of those ones in the beginning of the year was like, I ain't ready. I am not ready to go forward, Jesus. I'm just letting you know that right now. And I felt like he gave me a whole 31 days to get my stuff together. So now that we are here, the stuff that I was telling him about originally is like, okay, now I'm here. So now I have to actually walk into it. And so when I have those types of moments, I do try to come on and share with wives, so you can kind of, have an idea of what Coach T got going on, just in case you don't see me on a Saturday when you normally see me on a Saturday and you see me on a Friday instead. Just kind of want to give you a heads up. So another reason, a good reason to get connected to my email list is also God has encouraged me to share words from him every week. Okay. He has encouraged me to share words from him. So I have started this thing on Mondays where I do God said, and it's definitely, it's like a, a motivational, Monday, type of push for the ones who are connected to my email, where I'm actually, just basically sharing the word of God with, whatever he said, and then you apply that to your life accordingly. So that's something that God has definitely been on me about as well. And so that has been good, actually. That has been something good. So if you're not connected, basically get connected to Coach T's email. All right. And I want to highlight my week by going over some of the interactions that I've had with some of my clients, some of the ladies, like I said, some of the ladies that I have been, coaching, some of the ladies I have been talking to, some of the ladies who have, inquired about buoyancy services, and just some of the things that, I've seen, picked up, or, had questions asked. I just kind of want to go over some of those things. Okay. I want to first start off by saying this. There are a lot of us. How they say the coaching industry is, saturated. The coaching industry it's too many of y'all out there. It is. It's a lot. And this is why I am so big on getting connected with the right one for you, getting connected to the right person for you. A wife coach is a life coach. Okay. A wife coach is a life coach. And sometimes us coaches, we do collaborate. We do kind of come together. There are benefits to that, and there are negatives to that, I would say, right? It's benefits to connecting with, another wife coach, and then there are some negatives. The benefits of that, of course, we got, we can share each other, audience, you have your set of people who follow you. I have my set of people who follow me. You get two different perspectives, you can get two different perspectives. That's also a benefit. And just being able to kind of share ideas and kind of bounce off of each other. It's always good to just kind of connect with somebody, in the field that you are actually working with. But sometimes the negative to that is if you are in that position or if you are in that place, a lot of times the followers can kind of get you connect, kind of cross connected or whatever, or kind of get you, put you in the same category, or kind of put you in the same box. There are different wife coaches who offer different things. Like for me, example, my area of specialty is for the wives who are separated from their husbands. Like that is my area. Like wives who are dealing with a separation, like whether the husband is inside of the home or whether the husband is outside of the home. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, why that is more of my area more than anything. But I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And so because there are different wife coaches who offer different things and who have different perspectives, if they are running their coaching, their coaching practice, they may run their coaching practice a whole lot different than someone else. And so sometimes when you see coaches kind of collaborate or coaches kind of come together, it can get misinterpreted that, well, they do the same thing, or they offer the same thing, or they prices are the same prices. No, and no. Okay. Those are all no's for me. Okay. And sometimes that is the negative of it. So I just thought I'd come on and just share, from me, Buoyancy, Coach T, wife coaching from Coach T. That is not the case. As a wife coach, we have our own entity. We have our own perspective. We run our own coaching business accordingly to what works for us. Okay. So that it's different across the board. And so I just wanted to start off by saying that if you see, us coaches coming together and, we do a podcast or we do a video, go live together, or, we share different ideas with each other. And it's very common. A lot of us, like I said, I don't feel like as a wife coach, especially a Christian wife coach, I don't feel like as a Christian wife coach, you can really be in a position to not talk about the gospel if you really, really want to be effective in your coaching practice. I don't really think you can do that. And so a lot of times we do share a lot about the same things. However, we do all still have different perspectives and maybe see things differently or not. We may have a lot of things in common, but when it comes to our actual coaching business and what we do in our business, it may differ for business to business. Okay. And so that's the first thing I just kind of want to just, put that on out there. Just put that if you see Coach T on somebody else's page, because I get asked that a lot. And I've actually that was one of the things that was kind of hindering me. I had a young lady who reached out and wanted me to come on her, and do a podcast, with her or whatever. And I'm all for it. And in the beginning, I used to do it all the time. But now I'm kind of I'm really, really having to ask God and help me to really use wisdom on how to go about doing that, because, sometimes it can get I don't want that. I don't want no kind of problems. All right. So that's first. That's the first thing I wanted to share, that wives understand that when you see wife coaches on different platforms or coming together and collaborating together, that does not necessarily mean that everything they do, everything is all the same. That is not what that is. That is not what that is. All right. And so I want to start by saying that. And I'm scrolling around because I had a lot of stuff on here. Let's see. Get connected. If you connect to my email, okay. All right. I also want to say, that my wife coaching, the wife coaching that I offer, is not for wives who are considering divorce. Okay, my wife coaching is not for wives who are considering divorce. If you desire to divorce your husband, my coaching is not for you. If you desire to divorce your husband, if that's something that if that's a thought of yours, if that's kind of like lingering around, or I'm not really sure if I really want to do this, or I'm not really, then you may need to go to a different type of coach. Because one of the things that I do, and a lot of times I think people get misconstrued, is a misunderstanding, is because they see, well, she's a marriage coach who deal with marriages who are separated. And so when they think about separation, a lot of times when people think about separation, they think automatically the next step is, well, we're going to probably end up getting a divorce. We're going to probably end up getting a divorce. That's what makes my coaching services different. Because my area is my goal in your coaching curriculum, in your sessions with me, is to encourage you to stay in your marriage. It's to encourage you to keep going. It's to encourage you to go forward. So if you are a wife who's saying, I don't really know, I might want to just go ahead and divorce, or, whatever, then I'm probably not the right coach for you, because I encourage my wife to stay in a marriage. All right. I emphasize regularly that I am a long-term coach. I'm a long-term wife coach. So when you think about you as an individual and your health, and how you maintain that long-term, if you are looking for a quick fix, I'm probably not that coach for you. Okay, if you're looking for a quick fix, I'm probably not that coach for you. The reason being is I understand that this journey takes work, and there are different levels, highs and lows, where wives will experience, different things on this journey. Okay. You will experience different things. Once you get past the grief part and you have come to a place of acceptance, that's one part. Okay. Once you do that part, it's another part after that. Once your husband come home, it's another part after that. Once, you actually start doing your work, it's another part after that. So there's different levels that goes with this, this type of stand. And so, because of that, that means that we do have to do some journaling together. I can't just give you like a 1+1 is 2 type of thing and that's it. No, the uniqueness of my curriculum is to help wives to do their work and to have someone to walk alongside them while they're doing their work. Okay. A wife coach, like I said earlier, a wife coach is literally a life coach. A wife coach is literally a life coach. Okay. And so I want to walk you through what I've experienced with my current clients, informal, that the ones who are coming up to the year, like I'm seeing different things, and I've been I'm taking notes of these things. The ones who have come up to the year, the ones who have already finished their year, the ones who have who check in periodically, and the ones who are still kind of like journeying on like in the beginning. All right, and so I want to speak about that. First thing first, I want to also just put this out here. I'm going to go ahead and say this first before I say this, because y'all might not like what I have to say. Y'all might not like what I have to say. But it's tax season, okay? It's tax season. And I just want to just put that out there as a way of reminding wives, not telling you what to do with your money, because it's your funds, you do what you want to do, okay? But Beyonce got tickets out here for $8,000. I think I seen something like that on Instagram. Are you kidding me? All right. This is the hour. This is the season to invest in yourself. Okay. This is the hour, and this is the season to invest in yourself. And I'm just talking about me, Coach T, personally, for myself. I know when I used to get my taxes, I've been on the phone with, that's another conversation for another day. I don't want her to see me on here and she might think something. Because I've been dealing with my tax people all week too. All right. Listen. But I remember going through, that difficult season in my life, in my marriage or whatever. And tax time was like, baby, we finna do some things, okay? Especially when my husband was home. When my husband was home, we really, really did kind of like go in. And so tax time and tax season was when I would put money to the side for vacation for us. I would put money aside. I would pay all my, my credit card bills. I would get stuff caught up. I would get things, caught up. But then the rest of that money, it was like, it's a freebie. It's a go. I just want to encourage you, wives. I just want to encourage you, if you are in that place or in that position where you're able to put some money to aside, just like you would say, I need to invest and get me a new car. Or I need to invest in getting me, I need to invest in, trying to get, moving from an apartment to a house. Or I need to invest in, getting, connected to an exercise program. It's the same thing when it comes down to your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. All right. This is the same type of investment. This is the same type of investment. You're not only, wife, because this is a question I get a lot of times. Like, well, what about him? Or why I'm going to be invested in our marriage and he's not invested in our marriage? Why I'm going to be, putting all this money up, for our marriage and he's not doing anything? You're not only investing in your marriage, wife, you are invested into yourself. You are invested into yourself. You are invested into your mental, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual health. All right. This is the type of things that you are investing when you do Coach C curriculum. I'm speaking from Coach C now, okay? I can't say for nobody else, but I know from my curriculum, this is what you're investing in. So it's not just your marriage. It's not just your marriage. You are also investing in yourself, okay? And so I wanted to just kind of put that out there. That was my, that little T, put that on out there. For the ones, I know some of the ones, they tax checks and stuff is rolling on in. Just be mindful. If this is something that you really want to do, if there's something that is serious to you, then take those types of things into consideration when saying, okay, I'm ready to move forward with the next steps. All right. So number one, I'm going to jump right on to this. I'm going to kind of like go a little fast because I'm ready to, shut down. My eyes getting, tired. I'm ready to shut down. All right. So one of the things that has come up a lot this week was wives who have mentioned about, when my husband's getting ready to come home, or some wives who husbands have come home, and they feel like, well, my husband's back now, so I don't really need, any more coaching. Or my husband's coming home, so I don't really think I need this coaching thing. And I want to say to that, wife, do not think just because your husband come back home that you no longer need a coach. Do not think just because your husband has come back home that you no longer need accountability. Even if your husband came home, and let's just say the Lord worked on your husband and the Lord really did some things in your husband, and the Lord really, really changed your husband, and the Lord really delivered your husband and he's a brand new person. Even if that's the case, a lot of times it's not. A lot of times these husbands come back and they are in worse condition than it was before they left. But let's just say your husband came back and he is walking a straight line with Jesus, okay? I would say to that wife, when that husband comes home, you and your husband, first, need to make sure that you're connected to some type of counsel where you're keeping your marriage covered, where you're keeping your marriage in a place where you guys can communicate effectively, where you guys are in a state where you guys can stay in that healthy place. I say to you, wife, when your husband come home, you need to, with your husband, be seeing someone to be held accountable every 3 to 6 months for that first year of his return home. For that first year of that man's return home, you and him both need to be underneath someone, whether it's your pastor, whether it's your own personal therapist, your own personal counselor, or I do for the wives who have invested in her Buoyancy boost, and her husband comes home. When her husband comes home, I do then see the husband and the wife. That is one of the things that I do offer, because I am a premarital and marital. I know a lot of times I don't talk about that a lot. I'm a wedding officiant. I do premarital counseling. That's a separate part of my business that I do offer, but I don't talk about it on this page. So I do walk with the husband and the wife at that time. Okay. If the wife has already invested into my curriculum, her Buoyancy boost. Okay. That's when I will see the husband and the wife. All right. So just because your husband come back home, or your husband and you get back, back to a healthy place, don't stop doing your counseling. Don't stop doing your coaching. for that wife who has went through the curriculum, and you have walked through the curriculum for a year, and your husband now is back home. You wife still, for that first year, you still need to be checking in with your wife coach every 3 to 6 months for that first year of your husband's return, okay? Because you want to keep the marriage covenant in a healthy place. All right. And so a lot of times people get to this place and think, oh, well, I have arrived. I don't no longer need this anymore. So I'm going to just, ditch the accountability. I'm going to just ditch the wife coach. And it's like, no, this is where a lot of things kind of get you back to a backwards place. So I want to encourage you, if your husband has come back home, you still need counsel. You still need coaching. You still need to be in a healthy place, especially that first year of his return. Okay. Number two. Why monthly check-ins? And again, I'm speaking from my curriculum, from the coaching that I offer in my curriculum, her Buoyancy Boost, and with underneath my coaching practice. Why monthly check-ins are not as effective after about 3 months. Why monthly check-ins are not as effective after about 3 months. So one of the things I do offer my wives who, after you do your initial, which is your initial consultation, once you do that, you do save, quite a bit checking in monthly. Okay. I would see you monthly. But what happens is, and one of the reasons why I had shared before, why I was taking that away, is after that 3 month period, wives have walked through some of that grief. They have really came to a place where they're like, okay, I really understand, what I got going on. I really kind of like, know what he got going on. I'm at a place of acceptance. Once a wife gets to a place of acceptance of where her husband is, and where they stand on their marriage journey, 1 or 2, possibly 3 things happen. One thing for sure happens is the wife is like, all right, I have accepted where I'm at. I am now ready to move forward and do my work. Okay. And this is why her Buoyancy Boost comes in handy, because now you have accepted where things are in your marriage, and now you are ready to do your own personal inner work. All right. Or 2, the wife do not do anything and she stay in that same place because I don't have the money, or I'm not able to, afford the her Buoyancy Boost curriculum. So because of that, I still want to check in, but now I don't have the money to necessarily, do the her Buoyancy Boost. And so because of that, she stayed in that same place over and over again. Now, because she is staying in that place, she is no longer really interested in her husband so much, because she's been talking to God, she's been communicating with God, she's been, praying, she's been, in that area. Now she's like, I don't even know if I really want to do this marriage restoration thing. I don't even know if I really want to do this marriage stand-up. I don't even really want to do this. Now you want to talk about self-care. Now you want to talk about, what kind of books I should be reading. Now you want to talk about those types of things. But what happens is that limits me to proceed to help you from that perspective. The monthly check-ins is simply about the grief that you're going through with your marriage, which means we talk about your marriage, your husband, and for me to check on you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. In order for us to talk about what my purpose is, what kind of books I need to be doing, reading, what kind of self-care I need to start investing in. That's when we are coming over into my curriculum, and I am not going to give you my curriculum with the monthly check-in. And so this is why the Her Buoyancy Boost curriculum is encouraged, because there is going to come a time on your journey where you're going to get tired of talking about your husband if you are making moves and trying to move forward. Now, the third thing to that is wives don't ever move. They don't ever accept where they are, and they don't ever accept, what things are, and they just keep on that same merry-go-round over and over and over and over and over again. And guess what? Coach C is all here for it. I am here for it. If you want to stay in that place, if you want to go, that's where we will stay. And I will allow you to check in, and I will allow you to, have your check-in sessions. But you have to understand, I'm only limited at that time to talk to you only about your husband, your marriage, and how you're doing mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That's it. Nothing else go past that part. And a lot of times is why I offer her Buoyancy Boost curriculum, is because from after the consultation, I already know you need to take the Her Buoyancy Boost curriculum. I already know, based off of the assessment that I've given you, based off of that 60 to 90 minute phone call that I have with you, I already know that you need to take the Her Buoyancy Boost. I even give you a recommendation after we have a consultation. But I also understand that sometimes wives are not ready to move forward in that place because they're not able to afford it. And this is why I just want to emphasize again why it's so important for wives to make a decision to get serious about this journey if you plan on doing this journey effectively. Okay? Because there will come a time when you are going to get tired, or you won't get tired, and you'll just stay in the same place, and then you will look up, and then 3 years have passed, and you still in the same spot, and you can't figure out why. And it's because you didn't invest into yourself. You didn't invest into yourself. And so because you haven't invested into yourself, you in that same spot over and over again. Investment doesn't just happen just because, I wanna just invest in myself. No, you have to be intentional about investing in yourself. And sometimes that means you have to sacrifice a little bit on the side here so that you can get those type of results that you want. Otherwise, a lot of people stand in this journey. And let me just give you a bonus to that part. The bonus to that is, the wife said, well, I don't want to do none of that. I accept it, or I don't accept it, or, I don't have the money to pay for it, or I don't want to do it no more. I quit. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this marriage journey thing no more. I don't want to be married no more. I want to just go on about my life. I want to just live my life. I want to just, just move on. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of dealing with this. And when I hear that, it saddens me. It saddens me because it's like, I know I can help that wife, but I am only limited to what I can do because that's where we stop at. It's like, it's nothing else I can do. I know what the Her Buoyancy Boost curriculum offers. I had a client that I talked to this week. She said, Coach T, you should be offering $10,000 for your curriculum because that curriculum works. Okay. And just hearing that, I know the curriculum works. I know the things that I share in this curriculum, it helps you. It's not just Coach T just saying things. This curriculum is spirit filled. This is what God walked me through. This curriculum is the curriculum that God walked me through on my journey. So I know it works. And so when I hear wives just give up or throw in the towel or use the excuse, and I'm not on here to say that money ain't tight for everybody. Money is tight for everybody. But I was at a meeting last week at my job, and one of the things that they was sharing with us was, when patients come into, our center and we ask them for their co-payment, I don't have no money. I don't have it. Or why the insurance to pay for it? And so she said something like, look out there in that parking lot. You see all those cars out there because it's a parking lot full of different stores, different plazas. It's a plaza full of, different stores. She said that parking lot is filled with people. People have money. People have money for what they want, what they have money for. People invest their money in what they want to invest their money for. So that's why when it comes down to the curriculum, I don't want to say I don't have no mercy, but what I say to that is, make the sacrifice. make the sacrifice. Because if you want to go get that Coach bag, that MK bag, those red bottom heels, okay, those extensions, whatever, you will make the sacrifice as you will, because it's something that you want to do. I had a client that started on last year. She's still actually part of it now, who was saying this was a really, really good investment. And she shared, how she had did an investment, I think, on her eyes or something like that. She paid into her eyes. She said this was almost as equal of an investment or as good as investment as me, doing that type of surgery for my eyes. And so when I say that, I say the Her Buoyancy Wife curriculum is not just about my marriage. Yes, we're going to discuss your marriage. Yes, we're going to talk about your marriage, but the Her Buoyancy Wife is for you. So you're not just investing into your marriage wife. The bonus to you investing with a wife coach is that I understand your story and I can share with you about what you got going on in your marriage. But the Her Buoyancy Wife curriculum is about you, wife, and about you being a better, healthy, whole, authentic self. All right. And so I know this is a lot. You might want to probably go back and, replay this again. It's a lot, even with me saying it out loud. I know it's a lot. But that's what I have to say about the wives for the 3 months check-in. After 3 months, it's really not as effective for you because you're going to either quit, you're going to either stay in the same spot, you're going to either, or you're going to make a decision to do your inner work. It's one of those three. All right. The next thing I want to share is about the importance of the curriculum and walking through the curriculum for the whole year. I have a wife that's getting ready to come to the end of her curriculum. She has 1 more month and she's finished. And when I tell you, I absolutely love these wives because you get to see the journey. You get to see what God did with them. When I think back from when we first started last year, this time, and then I see how far God has brought her to this point, it's almost like, Oh my God. And so many wives miss out on this opportunity because they are like, I'm finished, I'm done, my marriage didn't work out. Or, even if, and let me just say this, even for the ones who, you started out, you was married and everything was going, going a certain type of way. Then all of a sudden, your husband decided, okay, well, he don't want to be with you no more. And he makes a decision to divorce you. You still should stay on your journey. You still should stay on that journey because you still don't know how God is going to work with you. Now, do I work with divorced wives? I do not. But if you came into joined my curriculum and you were married and we already started the curriculum and your husband decides to divorce you on the journey, then he just divorced you. It doesn't change what we have, all right? Once you're in, you're in. Now, coming in as a divorced wife, I do not work with divorced wives. But if you are already with me, and this is the consultation, kind of like, explain that part more, when you sign up for a consultation. But if you are already with me and you already took the curriculum, and your husband decides that he wants to divorce you, or the marriage end up not working out or whatever, you still need to stay on your journey. And the reason you need to stay on your journey is because God is still going to do things. God is still going to orchestrate things. God is still going to order your steps. But so many wives kind of like, my husband divorced me, so it's over. I might as well just move on. What? What? It's no different than if you was going to a counselor and you was sitting in a counselor and a counselor was sitting there with you and you was married today, and then the next time you come back and you're not married no more, that counselor is going to still talk to you and walk with you through some of the pain that you're going through. And so all I have to say today is a lot of times wives are shorting they're really it's like they're shortcutting their journey by saying, I'm not gonna do the whole year. When you finish the curriculum at the 6 weeks, when it comes to the end of 6 weeks and you say, okay, that's it, I'm not gonna cross over, you are literally just like, you done wasted your money. That's what I say. You literally just gave Coach T the money for the curriculum and that's it. Because going for the rest of the year is the best part of the journey. You get to now see how God starts to speak to you. You get to now see how God starts to change you. You get to see this. You get to see now how God starts to move in your life. You get to see now how God is dealing with your husband, or dealing with you and your kids, or dealing with your family, or has promoted you on the job. Like, you get to see different levels take place, and you have somebody there to walk with you. Now, after those 6 weeks is up, like I said, that's the foundation. That's the groundwork. The 6 weeks is the groundwork. There is a discount that you have, once you do it for that 1 year. But doing it for that 1 year is just like I always tell wives, if you had to go get an oil change for your car, you checking in. If you had something going on with your body and the doctor said, I need you to follow up every so many months, you're checking in. Check in, continue on the process. Don't stop only at the 6 weeks because you are shortchanging yourself. There is so much more that God wants to say, want to speak. And a lot of times wives, they get to a place where, oh, well, everything is good, or things ain't good and it's gotten worse, or whatever. And they don't wait around to see what God is going to do next. They don't wait around to see what else God can do. They don't wait around to see that, okay, I had a really, really bad month this month, but God, 2 months later, God turned that thing around, And so that's the whole purpose of walking with the wives for the whole year. And so I would just really encourage the wives, for the ones, especially some of the ones who's already part of the curriculum now, to make sure that you go forward and really, really stay going with the 1 year, all right? And then I want to end with marriage restoration is not limited to your marriage only. Marriage restoration is not limited to your marriage only. And this is why I feel like so many wives don't do well on this journey, because they come in with the mindset of, well, if I go over here and if I say this prayer and if I do what God asked me to do, then he gonna save my marriage, or he gonna bring my husband back home, or he gonna bless my marriage. And you come up with the wrong, you come in with the wrong heart motive. You come in with the wrong mindset. And so you have to understand, marriage restoration, or this marital restoration journey, is not only about your marriage. The part of the marital restoration journey that's about your marriage is probably 5 to 10%. Probably 5 to 10%. The other 90%, the other 95% of it is about you, wife. It's about you, because God is trying to do something in you. God is trying to stir some things up in you. God is trying to show you some things about you. God is trying to teach you some things about you. He's doing something in you. So a lot of times wives are missing out on it because they're only looking for a person to tell them about, my husband. And I say to those types of wives, you probably should go to a counselor, or you probably should go to, someone in your church to talk to you just about your, about your marriage. You probably should find, a different type of resource. But for the wives who said, no, I want to go deeper. I want to really, really see what God is trying to do and why God has allowed this and why God has allowed me to be the one to do this and why God has chose me to stay with this unhealthy man who's not, doing things right. Why have God, chose me to do this type of assignment? Go deeper and see what it is that he's trying to show you. And so many wives miss out on that opportunity. And so I say to those wives, listen, it's time to make a decision. It is time to make a decision on which way you want to go moving forward and how you want to proceed. If you're only looking for God to do something in your marriage only on this journey, you're wasting your time. You are literally wasting your time. Your marriage is just about 5 to 10% of this journey. And the rest of the journey is about you, the wife. And if you allow God the opportunity to come in and change you and do some things, listen, the results are perfect. Listen, I can say this confidently. I know her Buoyancy Boost work. I know my curriculum work, okay? And that's why I ain't trying to baby it down, change it down. No, we ain't doing that kind of stuff, okay? I know her Buoyancy Boost works. It works. And if wives are willing to put in the work, they will see the necessary changes in their life. They will see the necessary changes in their marriage. I had a wife that I was speaking to, bless my entire soul, because I was just talking to her in December. And so from December, it was rough and tough and stuff for her. And for her to get into February and how God had to change things around and how God had to move into her husband's heart and how her husband went from being a certain type of way in December into February, he's a whole different man. Baby, don't tell me what God can't do. I have seen it. I have experienced, not only with the wives that I coach and work with, but I have seen it and did it in my own personal life. And so this is why I know this stuff works. And I know it's a lot of people out there, a lot of fakes, a lot of phonies, and you really, really do have to, use discernment and ask God for wisdom and ask God to really, really show you the way that what's best for you. I want to encourage you to do that. Don't let this 23 year go and you're still doing the same thing. A lot of times wives who have been separated from their husbands for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and they take her Buoyancy Boost and they are amazed at the revelation that God brings to their attention. They are amazed at the different things that God shows them. They are amazed at the different, mind shift that takes place. They are amazed with, different things that, they're learning that they didn't never know before. And so it's important. It's important to get connected with, someone on this journey. And if God has called you to this journey, ask God to send the right resource and ask God to help you about, doing whatever you need to do to get the necessary help that you need to get on this journey. All right. And so on that note, wives, I want to encourage you. If you have not signed up for your Buoyancy Boost, I want to encourage you to sign up. At my website, www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. All right. The consultation is your first step. Before we even start the curriculum, you have to do the consultation because that kind of give me an idea of what you got going on. What level we need to start on. How we proceed forward, how we go forward on this. On this journey. So the consultation is definitely the first step. And yes, for my new wife clients, the consultation is a little bit higher than the monthly check-ins. But once you do your initial consultation and you want to check in afterwards, the price does change. But I always say when you do the consultation, if you know that you're ready to start doing your work, do your consultation and jump right into the curriculum. Do the consultation and start the curriculum. But sometimes, and I understand that wives are not able to do that, so they want to move forward with just the monthly check-ins. And that works too. So it's up to you. If you have not got connected to a wife coach, if you are not connected to a support group, if you're not connected to a church home, listen, wives, this is not the hour to not be connected. You need to be connected to someone. You need to be connected to somebody. That pandemic, if it didn't do nothing else, it showed us like this thing can be gone in a blink of an eye, And even when the internet and everything shuts down and all that kind of stuff, whatever, you still want to be able to be connected to someone just in case you need to pick up the phone and call, or you need to send them a quick email or a text. You want to be connected to someone. Don't wait until, I'm going to keep on waiting. And you letting time pass by. And then boom, people be like, I wish I would have. Wishes is for kids. Let me stop. Listen, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Coach T have been on this. Let me just share this with y'all. My guilty pleasure is R&B music. Okay. I love me some R&B music. When it comes down to my self-care, baby, I put my little earpieces on, especially at work. I put my little earpieces on, and I messed around today. Now, I hadn't listened to Old Girl in a minute. I messed around today and turned on Tamar's station on Pandora. Oh, somebody was going to have to come and get me. I mean, for the whole afternoon, I was just in there stepping, baby. Singing all loud and out of tune. I didn't care. But I had the most amazing time just with me and my earpieces today, okay? And so, listen, wife, I said to say, find your happy place. Find what works for you. Find your escape. Find what works for you, you know? Some people need to, go outside. I'm going outside. I need that too every now and then. Not all the time, but sometimes. I'm going outside tomorrow too. Some people need to go to a restaurant. Some people need a nice book, or some people need to, curl up in a bed and watch a nice TV show. Some people need to, be around friends and family. Whatever. What works for you? What works for you? But make sure, wife, that you are doing something that you enjoy doing. Make sure that you are enjoying yourself and doing something, not what somebody else wants you to do. Do something that you want to do. And I always emphasize that because I remember being in that place where I was doing a whole lot of stuff for other people and I didn't really want to do it. But I was just doing it just do along with it because I feel like I had nothing else to do, so I was just doing it. No. So now I'm very mindful. I'm very mindful of doing things that I enjoy doing. And so sometimes I walk around, I ain't going to tell y'all that. Because that was just going to come out. And I said, like, Mom, where your clothes at? I like to be like that. I like to walk around in my towel and t-shirt. Okay, listen. And have my earphones on or cooking or whatever. Do what makes you happy. Do what, find your healthy place, your happy place. And I always say make sure it's healthy and holy. Healthy and holy. Now my R&B music, God, that's love. We love it on each other. That's my story and I'm sticking to it, okay? Listen, wife, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Do something that you enjoy doing. Prioritize yourself this weekend and sign up for your wife consultation, all right? www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. I'll talk to y'all later, all right? Blessings.